Greetings, I am Shashank Mishra, representing as a host with an eminent senior advocate of Supreme Court of India, Sugit Markandeji. This channel, Law and Life, is an initiative to share the experience of senior advocate on different legal issues that are happening in India, political history, and explaining various statutes. Today, we will be recording episode number 50, and this will be a special lecture on one of the silent heroes, Deshbandhu, Chittaranjan Das ji. Sir, I want to know how were you drawn Chittaranjan Das?
Uh, in May 1988, I had started writing a biography of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, the third edition of which has been published recently. You will recall that we spoke about it in our episode number 5. In that connection, I had read a couple of books on Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, and I was very struck by his forthright character, intellectual brilliance, which made him, you know, the greatest Indian lawyer of his times. And secondly, the ease with which he gave up all his flourishing practice and luxurious lifestyle to join the civil disobedience movement started by Mahatma Gandhi. And thirdly, the equal ease with which he parted company with Gandhiji when Gandhiji blundered in suspending that movement at the crescendo, and then he founded, Swaraj Party.
Sir, can you please tell us about the childhood and his youth?
Chittaranjan Das, also called C.R. Das and more popularly known as Deshbandhu, was one of the most outstanding leaders of the freedom struggle. He was a poet, he was an author, he was a great thinker, he was a lawyer par excellence, and more than anything else, he had drafted the Swaraj Constitution of India. So that is lying, uh, in Victoria Memorial in Kolkata. Uh, I think his daughter's son, who was Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mr. Siddharth Shankar Ray, he got it placed there for uh, archival uh, preservation. So he was born in at Calcutta on 5th of November 1870. His father, Bhuban Mohan Das, was a solicitor in the Calcutta High Court, and he under he had had his schooling, in a school called London Missionary Society's Institution at Bhabanipur in Kolkata, where mostly poor English pupils studied. So he saw, the uh, poverty of the ruling class firsthand. And so young Chittaranjan Das it left a lasting effect on the impressionable mind of young Chittaranjan Das. And all through his life, he strove for the betterment of all the poor and downtrodden. He graduated from Presidency College, Kolkata in 1890 and went to England for appearing in ICS examination. He could not pass the ICS examination, so he joined the Inner Temple, where he called to the bar in 1894. He was just 24 at that time. During his stay in London, he acquired uh, oratorial skills, and he also participated in the student activities. Uh, uh, and also in the election campaign of Dada Bhai Nauroji, who was the first Asian to be elected as the member of House of Commons of British Parliament.
Sir, let us know about his legal career.
So, on return to Calcutta in 1890, he joined as barrister of the Calcutta High Court. During this period, that is when he started practice till 1908, he and his father faced a lot of economic hardships. So much so that his father had to approach the insolvency court. However, they could overcome their fiscal hardship. And C.R. Das uh, paid off his own and his father's debts, even though some of most of the debt had become time barred also. But he insisted on paying. So this shows his great act of honesty, and it won him great popularity throughout Bengal. The long trial of his dear friend Aurobindo Ghosh, popularly called Alipur bomb case in 1908, was a turning point of his legal career. The committal proceedings went on for 76 days. The trial in the Court of Sessions lasted for 31 days. The appeal before the Calcutta High Court was heard for 47 days. Then there was difference of opinion between the two judges, and a reference was made to the third judge, which was heard for 20 days. The documents ran into over 400 pages, and the material exhibits, that is, bombs, revolvers, tools, etc., were all, also they were hundreds in number. The result of this marathon effort was, however, very uh, satisfying for C.R. Das. So what happened that Aurobindo Ghosh was acquitted. His younger brother Barindra Kumar Ghosh and his associate Ulhaskar, who were sentenced to death, were acquitted of the main charge under Section 121 of the Indian Penal Code. Because in the appeal preferred by them before the High Court, C.R. Das argued that the trial court had committed a serious in not noticing that sanction for the trial under Section 121 was not taken, which was mandatory, a plea which the High Court accepted, and the charge under Section 121 was dropped. The result was they were acquitted of that particular charge, thereby saving them from gallows. So this was a major gain. But of course, they were sentenced to transportation of for life because the other charges were proved. The Alipur bomb case brought unprecedented fame to C.R. Das because he was still comparatively quite young. So C.R. Das was equally expert both in civil as well as criminal cases. His mastery over facts, his propositions of law, and more than that, the courtcraft, the deft handling of the case yielded him highly lucrative practice and all the luxuries of life and unprecedented fame and prestige.
So now let us know about his political career.
But Siardas was always a political person. He was associated with the revolutionary organizations like Anushilan Samiti. In 1917, uh, Deshbandhu had presided over Bengal Provincial Political Conference. He organized and led successfully the boycott of the visit of Prince of Wales to Calcutta. So, paying tribute to Deshbandhu, Chittaranjan Das, Maulana Azad has said, and I quote, he was one of the most powerful personalities thrown up by the non cooperation movement. He was a man of great vision and breadth of imagination. At the same time, he had a practical mind which looked at every question from point of view of a realist. He had the courage of his conviction and stood up fearlessly for any position he regarded as being right. Mr. Das had princely practice at the Calcutta bar and one of the most successful lawyers of the country. He was also noted for his fondness for luxury, but he gave up all the practice without a moment's hesitation, donned khaddar, and threw himself wholeheartedly into the Congress movement. So this is the quotation from what Maulana Abul Kalam Azad said. But you see what happened, that there was a small incident at Chaura Chori, as a result of which Mahatma Gandhi suspended the civil disobedience movement when it was at its crescendo. So I think many leaders of that time, including C.R. Das, got disillusioned with Mahatma Gandhi's leadership and more so about the efficacy of his leadership. He strongly criticized Gandhiji about this because it had demoralized all the rank and file of the Congress workers. Uh, Das was elected as president of the Indian National Congress at its Gaya session held in 1923. He devised an alternative program. He suggested that let us enter the legislatures and local bodies and make it difficult for the British administration to run. But the orthodox followers of Gandhiji bitterly opposed this program. And when it was put to vote at Gaya Congress, it was defeated. So he resigned from the presidentship of the Indian National Congress and founded Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party soon became very popular, especially in Bengal and central provinces. On 23rd April 1924, C.R. Das became the first mayor of Calcutta Municipal Corporation, and his protege, Subhash Chandra Bose, was appointed as the youngest municipal corporation, that is, chief executive officer of the Calcutta Municipal Corporation. And giving up all the political activity, Bose devoted most of his time to the administrative work of uh, Calcutta Municipal Corporation. In the Central Legislative Assembly, Swaraj Party won 45 seats, constituting is constituting the single largest group. Uh, he founded a weekly newspaper called the Forward, the official organ of the Swaraj Party. Deshbandhu was totally shaken when the British government arrested Subhash Chandra Bose on false charges for participation in the terrorist activity. It was false because he was wholly occupied by the bureaucratic work as the chief uh, administrative officer of the Calcutta Municipal Corporation. At that time, uh, Deshbandhu was in Shimla and he took the first train back to Calcutta, where he summoned the urgent meeting of the Calcutta Municipal Corporation. From the mayoral chair, he expressed his deep resentment and anguish at the outrageous arrest of Bose and said, I quote, Bose is no more revolutionary than I am. Why have they not arrested me? I should like to know why. If love of one's country is a crime, then I'm a criminal. If Bose is a criminal, then I'm a criminal. Not only the chief executive officer of the corporation, but the mayor of corporation is equally guilty. Bose's arrest is a sheer brute force on the part of the bureaucracy. No charge was made against him. No reason has been given. But he has been simply told, we have got the brute force and we shall drag you to prison. Is this law? Is this justice? Uh, I must say that Deshbandhu died on 16th of June 1925 when he was less than 55 years old. His death gave a serious blow to the cause of communal harmony in the country. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad has said that if he had not died a premature death, he would have created a new atmosphere of communal harmony in the country. He was a great philanthropist also. He donated all his possession and property to the nation. I think his life is a shining example for our youth, present day youth also.
Yes, sir, I was glad to know about Chitranjan Das and it has inspired us. And whoever will be watching this video will also be getting inspired with this and effort of the Chitranjan Das. And thank you, sir, for telling us about such important person who is our part of history and not been taught in our school life.
Thank you, Shashank.